Hey now, it is January 11th. It's in Detroit. I gotta be honest, it's cold out. I'm in my basement, so I put my jacket on, I put my hood on. I figure if I gotta make these videos, I want to at least make them in comfort. So we're at Kenesaw Mountain Landis, the baseball's first commissioner. Obviously, with Kenesaw Landis, I think most people in baseball history know about him. He was a federal judge. What happened was when the original reserve clause was being challenged by the Federal League, he was the judge in the case. And the Major League Baseball owners were very worried that the reserve clause was going to be overruled as unconstitutional by the Federal League. Kenesaw Mountain Landis was the judge there, and they knew he loved baseball. He loved baseball. He was a judge. He was very much with integrity. And because of that, he was with this case, and it turned out he didn't give his decision. The Federal League and Major League Baseball eventually settled, and the owners thought, okay, this is a good guy that we can trust. You know, saying he's not going to go against us. So when the 1919 Black Sox scandal happened, a lot of the public confidence they lost. The public lost confidence in baseball. The Black Sox were sued in federal court. We were found not guilty, but Landis was put in charge, and Landis said, we are tossing you out. And obviously, everyone knows what the 8 men out. He actually did more than that. He tossed a lot of people out, not just them, but he cleaned up the game, and he was very respected by the owners from that time. I mean, he was so respected by the owners that eventually the American League MVP award was nicknamed, maybe the National League also, but I know the American for sure, was the Kenesaw M. Landis Award. But as time goes on, his legacy has diminished. And the big thing is a lot of people attribute the color line staying in baseball because of him. There's various stories. He came out in a quote and said, listen, I don't care if a team says one black player or 20 black players, as long as my job is to keep the integrity of baseball, you know what I'm saying? Prosecute the rules of baseball. But at the same time, there's stories like Bill Veeck was saying he was going to sign a bunch by the Philadelphia Negro League team and then bring a bunch of players on his team. And then behind closed doors, Kenesaw Landis said, you will never do that. So, and like Bill Veeck's later quote is saying, this is my favorite quote about Kenesaw Mountain Landis, because with a name like Kenesaw Mountain, you know he was not born in Maine. So who knows? So they've since taken his name off the MVP award. Baseball is looking back, not in the best light, but needless to say, when he passed away in 1944, he was very popular, and he was voted to the Hall of Fame very shortly after his passing. So his autograph now. When people talk about like the worst autographs and they talk about let's say World War II, which is really what he was, there's no question in my mind when I think of bad autographs, Kenesaw Mountain Landis comes to mind. People like the new stars, I won't get into new baseball players. They're signing thousands and thousands of autographs up to a day. But Kenesaw Landis at the time had one of these worst autographs of any Hall of Famer, like prior to the modern era, let's say prior to 1980. So without any further ado, let's look at the autograph analysis of Kenesaw Mountain Landis. Always the wrong screen. So we're starting PSA database. We're going to come back to baseballs. I am really not a fan of any single sign baseballs, and we'll get to that in a second. Well, you're going to notice with every single autograph of his that there's a lot of autographs of his out there, fortunately, because of the fact that he was the commissioner of baseball. He did have a secretary signed autograph. I can't find anything, but what's good about the secretary signed autographs is secretary would always initial below where his quote unquote autograph was, and they look nothing like his autograph. This is a Kenesaw Mountain Landis autograph. It's usually one stroke down right here and up, and then the rest is just like squiggles to the right. It's one of those you almost have to look at and say, oh wow, is this really not legible? It's ups and downs. This is a full Kenesaw M. Landis autograph. You can see it leans to the right. He was very common to sign as M. As a matter of fact, look for an autograph where he didn't sign as M. The L is almost to me like a lowercase, and then he almost like breezes through to the D and the S. And again, it's a lot of ups and downs and slants to the right. You can see right here again. You can see the Kenesaw Landis right here. This is a contract, almost like a loop right here. This is actually a little bit nicer. There's the M right here. The L, like I said, the lowercase L is just up and down. Then a line to the D and up and down and to the S. And you can see it slants to the right. This is more common. You're going to see here is, again, just a KM Landis autograph. And there are lots of autographs out there. He's popular because he's associated with the Black Sox and kicking out Joe Jackson, obviously. But at the same time, there's a lot out there. He never played baseball. He was the first commissioner. There was a national commission before him, but I won't get into that much history of baseball. So you can see right here, again, it's sort of a loop right here. Then there's the M right here. There's the L. This is a full disc, which is like LAN, which is rare. Usually his autograph kind of dips down to the right as he goes down to the end. A lot of the letters I see do that. This is a signed check. I don't see many checks in the market, to be honest with you. I have a good friend who does check collecting. I wonder if he has one of these checks. But anyways, this is a Kenesaw Mountain Landis autograph. You can see right here that it goes, it's one line besides like here maybe. And this is the key thing with Landis's autograph is his pen never leaves the paper. You know what I'm saying? You don't see multi-stroke. We'll get to that later with the baseballs. Again, right here, here's a signed photo. I don't know if it's pasted with him. Again, you can see right here the K, which is kind of like a loop in a circle, just ups and downs, L, the sort of A right here, the D, and then the S. His signature was not very consistent at all, as you can see right here. But you see how I said it falls down? You can see right here, even the S falls down. Again, the K is kind of like a circle, the L, so we get an N right here. Like, you don't know what you're going to get with the Landis. I would highly recommend always buying a letter or I don't know if he signed many contracts. There are a few contracts up, but something official with Landis. I would not ever buy a signed baseball. He was at a lot of the Hall of Fame inductions. He created the Hall of Fame in a sense. He created the All-Star game in a sense. He took great pride in baseball. He loved baseball. So he took great pride in the game. So because of that, you can see, again, the K looks kind of like a circle right here. Again, this is a nice circle. You can see the M right here, the L pretty high right here. You sort of N, D, S. Just, it's a sloppy scene. Like this is the kind of K. I'm sure this is good. You see the circle with the K, the M's. It's a rushed, sloppy signature. And it's just like I was kind of dreading this one because it's so bad doing this autograph analysis. High Commissioner of Baseball. Well, I took a lot of pride there. No ego there. So, but again, the signature is good. This is actually one of the nicest signatures that we talked about. You see how it falls sort of down. He doesn't sign in a straight line. He falls sort of down. That's very common for his autograph. I'm not a fan of the baseballs. And I'll tell you why I'm not a fan of the baseballs. Because these baseballs look nothing like what I expect to see with the baseball. Because he took so much non-pride in his baseballs, but every baseball I see is nice. How it's like space with between the Kenesaw, the M, and the Landis. Like even his checks, he didn't sign nicely like this. Why is he signing a baseball so nicely? And I think Ron feels the same way. Like again, here's the letter. Look how sloppy this is. And again, he had to sign a lot of letters for business. I get all that, but I've never seen a single signed letter not where he's taken his pen off the paper. So when we look at baseballs, it just makes no sense to me whatsoever that there's what's it called that they're real, to be honest. So I mean, we can go into let's look here again. This is Heritage Auction Houses, their look back. Again, letters. I try to find something. Again, I try to find some baseballs. Like this is like a very passionate, important letter about Joe Jackson that he's not getting stated. Again, it's a beautiful signature. You can see though he doesn't take his pen off the paper. So then I don't think there's any baseballs here I pulled, to be honest. So we'll look at some more in a second. Signed base. These are Christy Matthews. Look at the Christy. Again, this is eBay, just looking what sold. I was trying to find a secretarial signature on eBay. Unfortunately, I couldn't, which I guess is a good thing. These are all, in my opinion, good letters. This is a very rare. Yeah. So this is the first. If we look here, I just seen this for the first time. The reason why this catches my eye is he took his pen off the paper. But again, right here, I don't think this is real. You see this KML? This could be a secretarial. I see that Beckett signed it and they approved it. But usually when you see letters like this down here, it means it could be secretarial signed. When you're saying you don't write that for him, I do not know what you mean by a hat. Do you mean KML? I'm not 100% sure this is real. It looks kind of odd to me. Yeah, the K is a circle, but usually when you see KMLP, I don't know what the P means. So it could be good. It's just a very odd. This is the first one I've seen where the L is kind of like what we saw at the baseball. But again, I think this is the exception, not the norm. So again, going back here, Babe Ruth, Otter, Lou Gehrig, Kenesaw Landis. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. I want to look at this baseball right here because of the fact that it says Kenesaw Landis signed this with Ruth. I don't know. It's very tough to see if it's 2 or 1 right here. Again, it looks like a 2-stroke. Maybe it's good. I just don't feel comfortable with these signed baseballs. Why? Like no one's asking him to sign a baseball in 1944. So it's just very rare. But this is one of my favorite autographs I've seen. It kind of silent. If I could have any autograph, this autograph has come up and back. This person was a hand printing specialist. You can see right here. There's like a similar Babe Ruth like this that they did as well. I think Dizzy Dean did one as well. This is his actual hand print, and they signed it below. Like I said, I think Dizzy Dean has one of these that exists. The same with Babe Ruth. If I could own any Kenesaw Landis item, this would be it. I've seen this before. Like I said, I think it last sold for $1,000. You're asking $3,200. I love this piece. It's very unique to me. Love it. As Jake would say. Again, here's what a beautiful Kenesaw M Landis. But again, look at that. It's all one. It looks almost like a photocopy. This looks a little weird to me, actually. Very shaky. The M's there. It's very shaky. Is there a COA with this? Let's go down here. I'm just looking if there's a COA. Where are the no COA? I would not buy this autograph. It's just very shaky to me. It looks like almost like a photocopy. Again, this is a baseball. We've looked at this before. It comes up a lot. I just like the fact that it looks so weird to me. Just the Kenesaw, yeah, it's round. Yeah, it's got it. I'm not going to go into the JSA stuff because I'm not a fan of JSA that much. But again, the M is so tall, and this L is he never had breaks in his letter like this. I've never seen an autograph like this. For him to sign a baseball like this just makes no sense to me. Let's look at REA again. This is another one. It doesn't make any sense to me why he would sign with the break between the M and the Landis like this, and the L so high, and the S is kind of falling, but he's got very nice. It's like a beautiful autograph compared to anything else he signed. I think I pulled these out of REA. Again, this one, just I would not buy a signed baseball. I would not buy a signed baseball. That's my 2 cents. Stick with the letters. It should be a couple $100. I would not buy a signed baseball at all. So we're moving off some of the more vintage players that we've done. We're going to move into some of the modern players. And the next one it looks like is Barry Larkin. As always, keep collecting, and talk to you later.